subjects. That's for Nancy's.
Just wing it.
Yeah.
We'll do it live.
Get on the day.
I mean, we could always just go on about 40k. That's
Again.
That's our usual stuff. You're still excited about the dragon.
I mean, how could you not be excited about Dragon? Dragon is Dragon. Dragon is love, Dragon is life, you know.
Tell us where did your love of dragons come from, Peter?
I don't remember. It's been that long.
The dragons, they're up there with like ninjas and pirates.
Yeah, they're
just cool.
Yeah, there's no origin for the love of it. It just is.
Also dinosaurs.
So there was this movie about an ogre in the swamp, and the dragon really just kind of, triggered something within him, I'm sure.
Triggered something within Donkey.
Donkey! Are there any donkeys in the campaign?
Please, God, no. No. I'm gonna put your name on the naughty list.
It's not me. You're the storyteller, GM. You decide if there's donkeys or not. That's on you.
This would have to be a sentient donkey.
Mm.
We don't have the druid cheating.
Otherwise.
Do y'all remember that tweet? Okay, hold on. So there's a tweet that Mike Merles fielded where it was the genuine, and I don't think that this was made with malice, but it was the genuine question of, they had a campaign scenario where they had a village where like their livestock was dying and they were down to just a small amount of cattle. And the druid asked, could I use wild shape to assist in the animal husbandry to and I genuinely think this was like not meant to be a degenerate thing. It was just like, can I help? I mean, there's a population issue. I turn into those animals. Can I help? And the only response that Mike Merles gave was, what the fuck?
That's the appropriate response.
Yeah, that's honestly.
But hear me out. If you're gonna create that kind of a scenario in a fantasy setting, you have to be ready for that kind of out-of-the-box thinking. And that's not even that out of the box, really.
Josh, stop defending it.
I'm not necessarily.
You're not going to beat the allegations if you keep this up.
The potential degeneracy of it.
I'm just saying, druids are strange people. I mean, you got to use the toolkit you have.
Yeah, and like I understand. Like, personally, as a GM, I would have said no because it's magic and that can mess with nature, and you don't mix magic and nature.
That's what druids are.
Justify it with that. You can say no because it's weird.
No, you would say it is magic and nature. It's not going to work right, and that's when you say yes anyways, and you deal with the consequences of having mutant cattle.
I was going to say that you want minotaurs because that's how you get minotaurs.
Like I want these cattle are like wild. They're like wild magic cattle.
I want minotaur chickens. What is that called?
I don't know. But
skinny legs.
All I could think was cockatrice.
That's how you get cockatrice.
But like, no, I'm just saying, like, when you get into like these fantasy settings with lots of magic and the magic is weird, or the magic can mess with things, like, you got to stop thinking about the current world and what you think of as normal, because technically these villages wouldn't even have seen a druid as normal either, but the druid sees it as normal. So I'm saying I've had to field some really weird questions from GM, so I'm a little disappointed Mike Merles didn't, tackle that one head on, because, like, man, how many campaigns have you GM'd? Seriously, this hasn't come up ever in your campaigns. This has come up at least 3 times in the campaigns I've run.
The only thing I did in your campaign was bellow at the top of my lungs as a giant elk.
You were not one of the 3 people who brought up something that weird. I had the barbarian ask if he could throw a gnome to get a better radio signal.
It was going to say you say that in with all with all sincerity, Ian, that you bellowed at the top of your lungs as an elk.
I was a druid.
Yes. Yep.
You do realise that's a mating call.
Not when you're half eaten alive by acid.
Gotta, continue the species.
What?
Last ditch effort.
Gavin, what was your character's response to that? Wasn't it like, what the hell? Or something like
I
that?
don't remember anything about that game. I'll just be honest
Years
with you.
ago. Okay.
I genuinely do not remember it.
This was almost...
I've 3 years ago.
Something like that.
caused you to have to create a brand new race of mountain tabaxi.
And you too can follow the adventures by checking out Harmony's Fall on the Domain Gaming.
Plugging the old channel. What are you doing, man?
Stay here. Watch
Still
this
there.
stuff.
Go watch it
This
after
is
this,
only-
because admittedly, there's no way that this is going to be less entertaining.
Oh yeah. Go back and watch the Arkham, and then when you finish Rollsborne, go back and check out Domain. Plenty of catching up. There you go.
The amount of content we have produced, I think we're probably pretty high up there, actually.
Mm.
Oh. Each episode, about an hour. Series running about 24 episodes. Like,
Yeah, you could binge watch it in a day or more.
binge watch one series in a day if you're like going ham. But then
Yeah.
did Vampire, Promethean, Changeling, Mage, Geist, Mummy. Don't watch Mummy.
We would bad.
Don't
Yeah.
subject yourself to that.
That one
No,
didn't wrap up
it's-
very well.
It's there for the continuity. It's a show it's a game which exists, and
Does it
we played
exist?
it once.
It is one of the games of all time.
Does it exist? I'm not sure. I think we just had a fever dream and
Was it just a fever dream? Yeah, that does make a lot of sense.
I just remember we healed Gavin's limp and he was angry about it.
My only character trait.
That wasn't my only character trait. I was just angry at everything.
His main character trait is angry at everything.
His character traits was,
He was really fed up with the mummies, okay?
his
By the
character
end of
trait
that
was I have a limp and I can't land a plane.
Professional
That's
pilots.
literally a JoJo character.
I don't think he watches anime. I think
I am aware what JoJo is, but I don't watch anime. I don't know. I don't get the reference beyond. The show is about half-naked, muscular men punching each other. That's
and they're
all
all
I
in
know.
high school too.
That's all. That's just anime.
Well,
It's all anime.
no. So, no.
I didn't
Actually,
think we
only
were
a
actually gonna
handful
get
of them
into
are in
JoJo.
high
Dear God, help us
school. A
all.
lot of them are older. No, we're not
It's
getting
a
into
rabbit
it.
hole.
Do a recap. Do a recap.
You know, we're gonna roll that intro.
Only recently hatched, he's still rather large, about 17 feet long from snout to tail.
I'll be handling a lot of the diplomatic affairs.
There's nothing worth fighting them here over for, anyways. Nothing of physical value, at least.
I'm really hoping there's going to be some money here, because if not, there's only going to be 3.
But we're gonna cut this out because this is where the intro's gonna go. Blah 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 blah. Go ahead and bring us in with that recap. Overly excited Asher, everybody.
Overly excited Asher. So, yes, I am Ashar-Ash-Akal. Yeah, this is going to be my first mission here on Rollsborne. This is the price of hope. I don't know what the price of hope is. Is it expensive? Who can say? We'll find out later. But yeah, first mission. We just got into town. It might be a town. It might be a village. It's a bunch of old buildings and some tents on the side with heads on spikes. An interesting dynamic. But yeah, we were sent here by the Tomorrow Legion because they needed help. We'll find out what that is probably this session. But we met who someone calls himself Nightmare Kresh. He wouldn't tell me how he got that title. He was very protective of it. Apparently, it's important for people in power to not be questioned about where their power comes from. I don't know why. But yeah, we met him, and then we went to meet the actual leader, Mayor Enders, while Leo went to go get drunk. He does that in every town, apparently. It's like a goal to get drunk in every town. So yeah, we were just about to start our meeting with Mr. Mayor Enders. He was very accommodating. All the buildings here are too small for me, but he agreed to meet on the balcony so I can participate in the meeting. So I'm really excited. I hope he has cheese.
There is, in fact, cheese.
Yes.
We're gonna back up. He gestures at the plates of food. The cheese.
Can't reach. Someone.
He picks up a cheese cube and he does the toss like you would
Yes.
with a dog.
Snap it up here.
Give me an athletics.
Maybe roll for that.
Athletics or reflex?
Athletics.
That would be athletics. It's all right. My athletics is pretty good.
In the system. Okay.
You're able to catch it
Yes.
and not make a fool of it yourself.
When I catch it, there is quite a loud snap as my teeth clack together.
You see Vance's robes just flutter from the wind snap as I sit down, and he's got this very, I would use the word stoic, but it's more introspective personality. He's very methodical with the way he looks, the way he dresses, acts. Everything is very deliberate with this person, and it's obvious in the way he acts.
Now, I do want to ask this before we get started in earnest. Want to contact your comrade? I would feel bad if they miss out on any they might need to.
I'm going to be truly honest. Our friend is probably engorged in whatever passes for local distillery here. So it's very unlikely he'll remember anything that we have to speak about. But I'm more than happy to bring him up to speed at a later date.
Roll me a
Plus,
d6,
he is a
Jack. Just roll me a d6. 1 d6.
Plus, he
where's
is
the dice roll on this?
That would be at the bottom of the chat.
plus he's not one for elongated discussion.
Oh no! Oh, wait.
You've had 3 drinks there.
Right.
The
Okay.
first one, the second one that she gave you, and now another one. If you would have rolled 6, I would have said somehow.
Oh, it's a long. Right. It's literally how many have I?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You're currently only 3 in. So, as I had told, expand this little utopia I'm building here. I realize utopias may be, especially at this point, but you always have. There was an old saying, and he pauses, and old saying, dress for the job you want, not the job you have. I'm gonna use paradise. Paradise here. I need some help, specifically in a few different can provide it. I know you have your stipends from, but I'm also willing to pay extra to get done.
Well, to dress for the job you want, first you need to afford the clothes, and in this case, what we have is a lot of sand and very little foundation. So let's perhaps begin at square one with whatever your immediate plans are.
So, immediate plans are 3 options here. Start power. We're running off of solar generators, which, they're fine in the short, but rather have a permanent power. We need something to jumpstart our economy. Fresh is... You see this look come across his face. Fresh is...
I want to read this emotion as hard as possible for the record.
Notice, please.
I am all right, this is gonna get interesting. Never mind. Don't worry about it.
I mean, you don't need anything. You don't need to read too hard to know that it's an uncomfortable subject. Crush is currently the only thing bringing. Currently, and his.
That's not the only thing he's bringing into town, I hear.
He shoots you a look.
I look at Ash and go, Asher. Perhaps at the moment, glibness should be left to the side. It's more the exports that are the point of contention, I'm sure.
I'd like to get as far as humanly possible a particular venture. And lastly, I need security. And before you
incentive for security.
And yes, I would prefer to replace our current security rather than. Those are the 3 things that I need immediate assistance with.
Well, until you have a functioning town with proper exports and reasons for anyone to care about it, your only security you can really afford is slipping under the radar.
Great. He leans back in his chair and gives a very solid nod. So if that were my suggestion, the economy going. We don't want for basic necessity. He kind of, since you're on the balcony, you kind of have a nice view. 80% of the town, so to speak. Which
all 3 houses.
I was gonna say, he says that as another part of the same wall. Just
Oh, there's more of the town.
it's the same wall.
Gestures towards some machinery. That's our water extractor. It extracts enough water for the current people. That might be something that we might also to reinforce later on, but for now it is sufficient. Anybody that lives here is essentially a subsistence farmer. So we have a couple of crops, and you do see the makings of farmland, so you can tell they're not starving to death here. They're not dehydrated. It's
a corn husk, just like
It's very meager living, though, currently.
Yeah.
Now,
Everything here cannot be scaled up like it is.
agreed. But that's why I went to Tomorrow Legion. They provide people with unique sets of skills and the ability to get certain things done. Things that I have run aground, so to speak. I'm at my wit's end. I find myself most days arguing with Kresh about details that I wish I didn't have to argue about, that I think are common sense and that you shouldn't be resorting to slavery. And you can see he got worked up there for a second, and then he starts taking deep breath and starts trying to calm himself back down.
I'll speak and say, your position is admirable. You shouldn't need to feel, as regrettable as it is, you shouldn't need to feel too worked up about the current situation. You've done quite a job establishing something out in what a lot of people would consider to be the middle of nowhere. So the fact it has not gone ideally is hardly a surprise. The mere success that exists should be considered an achievement in and of itself.
So, I appreciate all that. Question does now come. Where and how begin? And we're gonna move over to the bar. Give me another D6. Because this conversation now does go on to hour 4.
Really? I only said like 2 lines of dialogue. You can't bunk me an hour
Wait, now I've caught
just
up.
because I use high school English.
We're gonna come back and we'll have all the plans laid out. All right, and here will be the aqueduct we're going to establish.
All of the words you
Run
said has
over
been
the new
paraphrased.
residential district.
Mhm.
Not gonna skip.
We need an airport strip here. Primary and secondary education here, with the Montessori school over here. If we can get enough space for it.
College,
Now, should we start considering like voting districts yet, or?
No, it's too early for that. We still have to
All right.
establish party systems and all.
Okay, all right. We can gerrymander it later. That'll work fine.
Yes. We first have to. You know what? I don't want to go in there. Sorry, back out. I'm backing away on that one.
Actually,
I don't
back to
want to
the
get us shut down.
Back to the bar, yes.
The alcohol is starting to take its toll at this point. Tigraine looks at you and goes, "All right, buddy. That's a total of 8, one of them being the strong. I think you're good for now." So, why here instead of with? I'm assuming you came with more than just self, right?
Yeah, well, let's just say that they're more, altruistic than I am.
Doesn't that mean you should be up there making sure they're not getting taken advantage of? Not that Anders honestly would do that.
And that's why I met your security detail, I suppose. Nightmare Crash.
Crash. There's a little bit of venom on her voice.
So go on, what's the story there?
Crash is a fine enough individual for who he is, I suppose. But he is what he is. Scum of the earth. He takes people, sells them. People that step out of line, cuts their heads off, puts them on pikes. You know the type.
All too well. So, your way it seems to me is your town is caught between a would-be warlord and a spineless bureaucrat.
I mean, maybe I wouldn't use such unkind words, but that is not inaccurate. She goes about and starts, cleaning glasses and, wiping down the counter. Crash Warlord is probably correct, but honestly, look around. Any leader in this area is a warlord, so he's not by any stretch.
And that's just the way of the world. So,
That's the way here. Let's just say I respect Enders. Good man. Came here. Started everything from scratch. Convinced a few people to come out here. So that tired of the coalition. Some were tired of being raiders. It's a decent enough place.
how long do you think?
It'll last?
In an ideal world, yeah.
Ideal world? I think it has potential. Starts are always rough, so asking for help when something's starting up makes the most sense. Complain about help. But ideal world now, is it? Yeah,
No, it's not.
coalition. Out, you have random rift gates opening up. Makes starts even more complicated. However, I still think it has a decent, as long as we're given that chance. And if not, I pack up shop, move somewhere else. I don't think I want to deal with the bureaucracy and the coalition of getting a liquor license, so I'll probably still stay out here in the Badlands, but, I'll still do what I do.
Hey, I know the story all too well.
And what story is that?
Oh, what you said. Go on, do a job, see. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes things fall through. Sometimes people die. Forget about it, move on to the next thing.
I personally don't like the vagrancy of all that. I don't like moving. I settle in. Stand my ground. Dig my roots in deep.
Well, that's where you and I beg to differ. Live fast, die young. Leave behind a beautiful corpse. With that, I will finish the last of my drink and send the glass upside down. Put it on the bar.
It's very
What
quick.
do I owe you?
It's very quick, but almost before the glass even has a chance to settle, it's already been scooped up. The rag's been rubbed underneath of it, cleaning up any drops that were left. First one was on the house. The rest 10 credits each.
Where is my? How are credits recognized? Are they?
They're universal.
Sorry, no, sorry.
Give a
Sorry,
card.
question to you. Yeah, is it like are they like chits or actual coins or?
Some use coins, some use chits. It just depends on the level of tech in the area. He does seem to have a chit reader, but it also seems like she's more than capable of taking coin as well. Coin or paper money.
30. Yeah, I will pay whatever. So yeah.
Pleasure doing business with you.
Pleasure drinking with you.
If you're looking for your friends, they're going to be in the big building.
Yeah, I'll wait for them.
Step outside, or
Yeah, I will begin to.
Let's look at the bar.
It's more of like kind of have a bit of a wander around town until the others emerge at least.
well, one of them doesn't need to emerge. You see the form of Ash, like snaked up on the side of the building, very clearly looking at a balcony.
Go on side, still dark. All right, yeah, let's go see what else this place has to offer.
You find what appears to be. Doesn't seem like there's private homes here. Any house that's being used for lodging is essentially a bunkhouse. They've got beds, bunk beds filled to the brim. It's not private living. Let's just put it like that. But it's efficient, necessary, and it works. The other building that is on your side of the town, basically where the other three could see you, is a general store, which at this hour has already closed. Closed as soon as the sun went down.
Okay.
As for that, most of the liveliness actually comes from the camp. You hear some hooting and hollering. You've participated in battles and the like of a larger scale being what you are. Have you not?
Mhm.
You know that you know those sounds. The sounds of war stories, people sitting around, oh, you thought that was bad? Well, I did this. You can tell from the sounds coming from the camp of raiders. Those are the stories being told right now.
It's so yeah, slightly kind of like nostalgic smile, not at how much, not like kind of the memories of the kind of skirmishes and things like that. It's more those stories and how much people embellish them, and every so kind of hearing it a second and third time, it's there's a few more details in there. So slightly nostalgic smile, and then yeah, I'll turn back and start to head towards the main building in that case.
Are you going to head in, or are you going to climb the dragon?
No, I'm just going to wait out the front, and it's the. I don't know if Ashar sees me, but
I can make a notice roll. Let's see.
Or you could just say you do or don't. But if you want to make a roll, go ahead.
I'll make a roll.
I'm not going to
Just
stop
'cause.
you.
Playing the dice game, we might as well roll dice.
Might as well roll dice. Yes, I do notice him
Quite well, in fact.
quite well. I notice he's drunk, or at least tipsy. I'll lean down. Oh, hello, Saki. Welcome back. Did you successfully get drunk again?
Cross it off the list, big man.
Sorry, what? I didn't hear that.
Cross it off the list, big
Gosh,
man.
okay. They've been talking up there for a while. I don't know how much longer it's going to be. I know you don't really like these kinds of things, but I think they're pretty interesting. Any chance to learn a bit more about the world is good.
The world's broken. The sooner you learn that, the better.
Well, maybe it can be fixed if you learn more about it. That you break a machine, you learn how to fix it, right? You can't fix it if you don't know how it works.
Yeah, at this point, he's gonna like sit down, like put his head back against the wall, his eyes closed. It's the
If everyone
alcohol
thought
most-
like you,
Sorry.
if everyone thought like you, the world would be a better place.
Well, you go to sleep then. We'll fill you in later.
yeah.
So, Enders. He notices that Ash has kind of snaked his way back down. So, question is do we start with the economy or do we start with power?
I think the bigger question here, and the one that I think is kind of at the front of that decision, is what's unique here. What kind of ace do we have? Because if we're just trying to build from the ground up out in the middle of nowhere, we're going to struggle no matter what we do. But if we have some kind of something to offer to people on the outside, then that might determine which way we go.
Well, I think then answer to that, power. Not too
How
far
so?
from here.
Mhm.
There's the ruins of a city. That city, it's pre-cataclysm. They were working on something in there. Some people, I only have hearsay. But the level of power that this supposed power plant in that city can generate far outstrips anything that even the coalition has. We're talking something that if the coalition believed it was there, they could probably generate power for. Now I keep saying if they think it was they knew it was there, so on and so on. A lot of people think it's fake. I found it. I know where it is. I just don't have the know-how or technical skills to.
The problem with that is, should we get this running, if they realize it's real, the coalition will be demanding we sign agreements at gunpoint before we even have a chance to come back and tell you we've succeeded.
Not to mention what the Emperor Laser, I don't know.
Saber.
If we don't become
Saber.
ground zero for another cataclysm.
You'll have two empires bearing down on your town, protected by a bunch of raiders.
Who
But-
are more interested in taking slaves than heads.
To be fair, those slavers are under direct orders from Saber to protect me, protect this town. So, we already kind of have the backing of it. So if one does come barreling down, the other one should have enough incentive to get their keister over here and, push back. Also, that's why I'm... Yes, expect you to help get it up and running. And I would also I would also expect you to help push back against the cult.
And we are not looking. I'll speak frankly with you. How does your relations with the Pecos Empire go?
They are business oriented. However, I am not a man without me. Give me a notice roll, Leo. Because I want Leo to.
He's drunk. Shouldn't there be a penalty? No.
I don't know the level of drunk Leo actually is. That'll work.
Yeah, it'll work.
That is why I'm not a man of no. I'm willing to offer for this specific task because I'm asking you to essentially take on the Legion or to take on the Coalition or get an extremely experimental power plant back up and running. 15,000 credits per person.
In the most William Shatner way possible, I'm going to go, is that a lot? No. Okay, player lack of lore knowledge, economically speaking, what are we talking on scale? Because you tell me 15,000 and I'm sitting there thinking, yeah, I could blow that in a week.
Yeah, it's like 20% of like a gun. I don't remember.
You can get a decent gun for 15,000.
15,000 each isn't. I'd say that's not a bad payday.
Yeah, I'd say it's not bad.
But to take on the coalition,
Like, you can buy certain types of body armor with it. I don't think... No, you can't do power armor. Those are in the millions.
We could club together, buy something.
yeah, we could repair your car. At least replace a couple tires, maybe.
We could put a battery in
My
there.
car is a masterpiece. It's a Swiss
We
watch.
could even repaint
It
it.
billows a lot. No,
You could get window wipers for it.
Put weapons on it.
It's like that. It's like the video. It's like, what would 100,000 get you on the tractor? The freaking tires.
Vance, give me a
Yeah.
notice roll.
Hello, notice, my old friend.
Notice is a very
Oh.
common roll.
Come to roll you again.
Remind me to get some bonuses on it then.
That's why I took alert. So I get +2. It's the best. It's the best feat in the game, I think. I will not take argument on this.
See, understand? I know very little about this system.
Yeah,
So
It's only
I
our
only
second
know it's
time.
the best feat in the game because I took it arbitrarily last game. And it was nice.
Except all the times that you failed.
Okay, shut up.
how do you fail with a +2 in a game where you need 4?
Uh-huh.
You do not want to know.
You don't want wounds or to get tired.
When I'm rolling everything at a -5, I fail.
Okay.
Should you choose to, you're pretty confident you can pressure him for more money. everything considered.
Just a little bit of extortion.
No, this
No,
is
it's not extortion. It's just negotiation. I get you.
this is the pay negotiation part of the thing.
I'm gonna
Bet you're wishing you didn't
look-
take the high nightly
I'm more
code
ground.
now.
There's
he
nothing in that
doesn't
thing,
win.
and there's nothing saying he can't ask for more money.
Yeah.
Bet there is literally something in the Knight's Code saying that.
Everybody's
No,
gonna
I
start
just
combing
can't.
through the Cybernet code.
Where is it?
I just can't stab him.
I just can't step.
He can't pull his blade and ask for more money, but he can
We
pull
can't
his tongue
do.
and ask for more money.
Yeah, we can't do renegade option. But yeah, I'm going to look and say that would be a suitable down payment for this venture, but I don't particularly see a half-baked firearm and a couple of tires on our car to be an adequate payment for taking on the coalition. Because I have a sneaking suspicion that as your city grows, you're going to find your security will become very difficult to motivate, orders notwithstanding. Let's speak plainly. There's no love lost between you and your security expert. And I fear that as this city continues to grow, it will either become a thorn in our side or we will become a thorn in his. The conflict that arises there could pose an issue to us. If we were to spend our resources dealing with him in a combative way, that would very quickly deplete our ability to defend ourselves long enough for the Pecos Empire to send someone, if they even do. Let's not forget we're a border town, and, well, there's only so much that can be done in so short amount of time. We're far closer to the Coalition's grasp than the Empire's.
Pauses, thinks, takes a sip of the wine. 60,000 up front. You're able to restore it to full. It's really quiet. You can tell he's really contemplating. Okay, as stated. 1,000 up front. And then 1,000 each.
I looked at the group and say, well, I don't think that money would be particularly useful to us here until we earn it. So,
I will also say this specifically to Leo, who's overhearing this conversation. He is saying these credit amounts nonchalantly. Like, yes, he did consider it, but there's like no pain in his voice when he actually says the amount.
I'm going to think for a moment. So that's definitely putting us in a good position. I think we're all we're all thinking the same way. What say? Hear me out. Let's say some level of continuation as the city grows. We could what is it? Nothing so crass as protection. As protection fees. Let's dispense with the ideas of force, but a share of business ventures would be in order.
We'll talk about that once we start talking about the economy. because that
Then
seems
I believe
contingent upon us being able to provide money.
Oh, I agree. And I
This
think
is-
as long as you're open to that level of negotiation when we begin discussing the economy, we have a fantastic beginning working relationship, good sir.
And with that, he produces essentially it is just produces it from his coat, just literal bundles of money.
Got a bag of holding in there.
No,
I know.
he's just got a. Bills get up pretty high. They get up to 1,000, so like it's actually not even that much.
$1
But
billion bill.
I said,
Yeah, but you got to
A
think in like
Zimbabwean
Venezuelan
$1 billion.
dollars.
no, it's essentially just it is just 4 stacks.
But no, as he produces this with a smirk, I go, have you ever heard the old phrase, cash is king?
Let's see.
I just have a smirk. Like, just.
He has. I feel like that's accurate. I absolutely have. Why I keep cash on me. Sometimes places don't have credit chits anymore.
Oh, come on. I didn't think we were that far out. I say with a bit of friendly banter / sarcasm.
So, bunkhouses are open to you. Late. Looks over at Ash. Around. Unable to provide any lodging suitable for someone of your size.
Though, sir, speaking of him, I understand the coalition does tend to come in this direction. You understand, of course, the amount of concern that his presence could draw.
Oh, most assuredly.
We will need to possibly, depending on the risk of them showing up first thing in the morning, we need to discuss a place for him to be, a cavern. How far away is this ruined city, perchance?
About a day's journey.
Okay, that's a little far. But we would need to figure out some way.
I don't think we have any risk of that happening.
Then we'll worry about it another day. Right, well, if your attention was diverted elsewhere, I assume our sufficiently sloshed companion has ventured back towards us.
Yep. He is. Is he still sleeping? No, he's awake now.
When the mayor came in, was he more of a handshake person, or
He was said you wanted to get to business, so he went straight to business.
Fair enough. So I'm going to go ahead and offer a hand and say it's been a pleasure beginning this discussion. I'm hopeful we can get that generator started.
He shakes your hand. Rest. Think. I think going to be the start of something. Something that will actually be worth doing.
Might I ask a brief question, though, since the unpleasantries have already been taken care of? We're going to walk and talk on this one. Say, what was the inspiration for coming out here, if I might ask? I mean, everyone's got a story.
Don't make me say. You were talking about Fallout New Vegas earlier, and now all I can think, I'm having to fight the urge to say to begin again.
Well, is it just a new start, or
No,
did you
I'm
perhaps
saying
learn
this
of
is
more?
this is completely out of game. To begin again. Listen. You know the coalition. I'm sure you've seen the Badlands.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you ventured into the dinosaur swamps, Atlantis, Federation of Magic, all these places.
Not particularly.
There's something missing. I'm hoping to provide that here.
Well,
Empire, as it were. There's less tape involved. Start things.
less tape, but more heads. And I think our biggest concern still is going to be this. Is going to be finding a way to dissuade the trading going on, the exports, if you will, in such a way that doesn't run aground of the empire itself. They don't strike me as particularly concerned about what's going on. And to my understanding, out of character, I don't think there's any laws against it in the empire, against slave trading. So, you know, we're running a bit of an issue here where if we're going to stop this, we have to make it more profitable to not do it so that Emperor Laser whatever tells them not to do it. And that's where the concern comes in, is because
At this
the
point,
only way you can,
I was gonna say at this point you've reached the ground floor and are right next to Saki, who is
So, who is awake, conscious?
Yeah, eyes closed but conscious.
Look at him. He has much to think about, I'm sure.
Always.
pleasure to meet you. Heard you paid a visit to Tigraine.
Yeah. I will stand up, brush the dust off where I've been sitting. Good company, good company, good booze. Need I say more?
He's always good for that, I will say that. Well, I don't wish to keep from resting. You require anything for your vehicle, let me know. I will see if we can.
You did lock the door, right, Saki?
I'm gonna give him that look of course I did, knowing full well I didn't.
Are you going to keep it
If we
parked
come
out
back-
there?
If we come back and it's
Door
on
locks
cinder
still
blocks
work.
again.
Yes, the locks still work. You just have to climb across the passenger seat to open up the driver's door from the inside, because that.
Manual locks.
And apparently it doesn't work from the outside on the driver's side.
Yeah, that's it. So you've got to climb across the passenger seat.
And I think
Oh.
that's where we're going to call this one. We will see everybody. Time.